Okay, so what I have done, I have created one package over here, and what I'll do now, I'll create,
Like
okay, let's say basic. So what I have done, class, and now I have to design my main door so that I can enter into the my program. So what I'll do, I keep on saying so that you can also get used to. I'll type main, and after that I'll press control space. It should give me the pre-filled things so that I should not type in more and more, and every now and then. Now I would like to come to the data types, basic data types. So I write int x equal to, let's say, 20. So do you understand the meaning of this line? What is the meaning
yes,
of this line, right?
yes. Int is the
So
data type, X is the variable, 20 is the initialization of the value of X.
perfect. So I let me draw one diagram for you so that we can understand it thoroughly. Few more things are over here. Let me draw one class over here and say its name is X. All right, and I labeled it int. So let's compare the things with the real world entity. Say I have one glass with me. So and I say the water bottle with me. So I can pour in only water inside that bottle, right? Because I labeled that a water bottle, so I would be interested to put in the water only, right?
Okay.
So what I have done here, I labeled the data type with this variable. This is integer and its name is X. The same way like we are human being. So our label is human over here and our name is HUSON, right? Or I forgot the spelling of your name.
That yeah,
HUEN,
HOSEN. EN.
right?
Yes.
Okay, Hussein. So this is the name and this is the label. So same way, this is the data type label and the name of that data type is X over here. Now, if I write 20, so it 20 gets over here. If I write 50, 50 will come over here. If I write, let's say over here, let's say Kanhaiya. Can I put in Kanhaiya inside this?
No.
Right? Why? Because Kanhaiya is human being. Its label is different. I cannot put in Kanhaiya inside the integer labeled vessel, right? In
All right.
this bucket would have only integer data type, only nothing else. So first thing, we get the clarity that okay, integer would contain the integer related things only, nothing else I can have over here. Now let me draw one more time the same diagram. I write X, I write int over here, and say I pour in 20, perfectly it goes. I pour in 50, perfectly it goes. I pour in, let's say, 50k, I mean 50k, just understand 50,000, all right? It would
Yeah.
come perfectly fine over here. Now, say for an example, I write something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 7, 8, 9, 11, 18, 20, and so on. Let's say up to 70 digit I write over here. Can I put in this particular integer, this particular digit inside this box,
No, too long.
right? You
Right.
can understand this analogy like this. You have a 1 liter bottle with you, water bottle, which can have a 1 liter bottle, it's water itself. So I can put in 100 gram inside it, I can put in 200 gram, half kg, 900 grams, or up to 1 liter, but I cannot put in 2 liter over here. So one thing gets clarity that okay, data type have the particular type of things with it, but it would not get the things beyond its boundary, right? The maximum limit, it cannot have the beyond its maximum limit anything inside it. So everything has the maximum limit also. The if we try to pour in few more or insert beyond that, lot of things happen. I'll discuss those things later on when I'll be discussing those things. But for now, for your understanding, keep in mind we have the data types. The data type will have some label which we say the data type. It certainly have some name with it, and it would be having the same type of data only inside it. And yes, it has the maximum limit also along with it. You follow me so far or
Yes,
any problem
yes. No, I am
up till
familiar with
now?
the data types, so I know what you're talking about.
Okay, you have familiarity with the data type, right?
Yes.
So if we try to let's say print this particular thing also, say for an example, this is my value, right? And x, if I run it, the program will show me over here. I can show you the debugging with respect to the debugging as well. Lot of things can happen, and I can have the different data type also. Int y equal to, let's say, 30, and I want to print this also. X value, y, let me run it. It should give me x and y. Now let me introduce the debugging as well. We will be using a lot of debugging part as well during our classes. So let me, have you ever tried the debugging part with the Eclipse earlier?
No, no.
Okay, so let's understand these new things now. So right click on the program over here. uh, Second, okay, two things I cannot. Can you see debug as part
Yes, I
here,
see. I
right?
see.
Right, the
I
blue
see that.
one. So this tool is used, some bug is over here, right?
Right.
Bug diagram. So that is used for debugging. So it has situated at two places. First one is here, when we right click below the run as, we can debug our program. I'll come to the point what is debugging and other things. So first area is that, and the same bug is here also. See here, right? Beside the run, this is run basic program, right? When I over here, or let me show you through the diagram. See this bug part. Can you see it?
I see it.
Right, the same diagram is there, and here also. So this is called our debugger. So debugger is used for the debugging purpose. So debugging, whenever there is any problem, whenever there is a difficulties to understand any program and other stuff, this is really helpful part to understand any program. All right, so if I would like to debug any part, I have to put a debugger over there that okay, inspect this line for me. I would like to see what's going on into the memory and which area and what things are going on. I would really like to see. So what we do for that purpose, see over here at 8 line, I would like to debug onwards, 8 line onwards for my program. So what I'll do, I go to the 8 lines and I will come over here. My cursor is here, right? And I perform double click over here to put up a breakpoint. This small dot you can see over here. I can draw the diagram also. The small blue dot, if you can see here, right?
Okay.
This is called debug point. All right. This is called debug point. I'm not using my mouse, so I'm just writing P only over here. All right. So
Okay.
debug point over here. All right. So let's say I want to see the debugging parts, what's going on behind the scene when we run our program. So I just do the double click over here, and you see I hover over here that line break point. Break point means it will break my program, it would stop my program over here, it would not allow me to go beyond this line inside my program. All right. So what I'll do, I will come now over here, press the right click and go to the debug as and press the Java application part as a debug as part. Now new perspective will appear with me. I will show you what are the different perspective in Eclipse. You know the different perspective in Eclipse?
No.
Okay, let me show you. All things step by step, right? Earlier we were in this perspective. Can you see this diagram?
Yes.
Arrow one, right? This was Java perspective. All right, I write Java. Now debug perspective is what? Let me clear it. This one, this bug part you can see. This is debug perspective in the project. So whole new window comes up. Earlier the windows were different and now the windows are different. Can you see this buggy part? The debug
Yeah,
perspective,
yes.
or we can say a different windows appears. How come that those appears? I'll show you one more time. Now see carefully, and I will debug this program later on. I would like to show you one more time those parts. So what I'll do, I terminate the program. See here, it left hand side also it shows the debug now, and whatever the program we have written, those packages and those things got disappeared. This perspective is debug, right? You can see it.
I see.
This, see this particular thing. Now see carefully what I gonna do now. I just erase all things and I come here and press over here the Java perspective. I again highlight you this part. I'll come here and hit on this part and the window would get changed automatically. See, again we come back to the same window, the same perspective, right? Where we have write our program and everything. Have you noticed that?
But
This.
what about these lines like 1010, 11, 12?
No, no, this is different thing. That the one particular dot class file got open. Don't bother about that. I can remove that particular part.
Okay.
All right. I put that debug point anywhere. I'll explain that part. Just forget that. I just want you to concentrate on two things. What is the Java perspective and what is the debug perspective? Or in other words, I can draw a diagram here also, just for the understanding. Java perspective and debug perspective, right? So inside Java perspective you have some window, and at left hand pane side you will see all the program and packages, these packages and .java file and all. And over here you will see the console, and here your source code, right? That is what we have seen, correct? If I show you this left hand side, my program, my first program, basic Java, this is my source code area where I write my program, and this is my console area. So this is called the perspective, Java perspective. From where I can select Java perspective? What else? What are the more places where we can select? This comes inside the windows, this one, Are you seeing these windows over here?
Yeah.
I can show you that as well. Time. This Windows top left. It has lot of perspective inside it. So over here, we will go there. I just highlight you so that you know that where we are going. So I come here and see here. You can see show view and underneath it perspective, right? This is
Okay.
perspective. Open perspective, it will give you a lot of name, debug, Java browsing. So I was saying about the Java, and there are plenty of more perspectives available here. So we will discuss those things. These are related to the Eclipse later on, but now two perspectives are useful for us. One is the Java perspective, or you can say the window. So this is Java perspective related window, and second one is the debug perspective. So the new window completely comes up with us when we try to debug any program. So this is called debug perspective. And now I'm going to the right corner and hit over here, this debug part, right? You can see over here. I just click it and it should show me the debug perspective. Now what's going on over here? I can draw a diagram related to the debug perspective. This is my console, right? This is my left hand side. The stacks frame will make over here. I'll show you later on. And this is by default. Here there are lot of many things, breakpoint, variable, and other things are over here. So I'll show you what are those. But for now, just for the understanding, don't take too much tension or attention. The only thing you would like, you have to know for now, that these are two different kind of windows pops up. Those are not similar. When I come to the Java perspective, the different window opens. When I come to the debug perspective, the different kind of window opens for me, because such kind of windows are helpful for me for various operations, various things. So debug related windows would have those weapon tools with me which can help me out for the debug related things. Or the Java perspective related window would have only those related views with me which help me to do some development work to me, like the source code and other things, something similar to those things. So far, just keep in mind that okay, for now we have two different perspective. One is Java perspective where we do normal program, but when we start some debugging part, then we have debug perspective
Different
as well.
perspective. Okay.
Yeah, right, nothing else. I mean, don't take any other tension as of now. I just We would do such time hundreds of times, so you would get used to that. So this is first ever time, so maybe that might take little bit time with respect to the understanding.
No,
Now
but
I will,
can I?
yeah,
What are we doing? Like I don't see that we did something for debugging. What do we do there?
now I'll start the debugging part. I just explain you the perspective because I open and I coined the term perspective. That is why I explain. I thought that let's discuss the perspective first, right?
Okay, fine.
Now we will do the debugging, all right? So
Okay.
I come back to the Java perspective. See, when I hover over here, I come here, it show me Java, right? The right corner you can see, correct?
Okay.
Can you see Java
Yes.
when I hover? When I hover here, you can see debug. That means, okay, I want to write program, go to the Java perspective. And debug perspective will come automatically. But from the debug perspective, you want to go to the Java perspective to writing your program, you have to hit over here, Java perspective. Then only you can come back over here. All right.
Okay.
Or if you get confused, then I can explain two or three more times
No, no,
as well.
no. I'm
Right.
fine. I understand how to get there. And I look. I can see how is the different perspective looking.
Right.
The
And
Java
if you
perspective
will
and
follow
debugging.
along those video tutorial one more time, then you got
Yes.
to know. Right. Now I start the debugging. So it says if I don't want to pop up this window, then I can select this, remember my decision. Then this would not come every time. But I'm not doing right now. I'm not interested in that. Let me remove this. This can confuse you. Maybe I have breakpoint. I have done earlier with some other dot classes, so that's why it's creating some confusion. So whenever we will do these things, or let me start one more time to create your confusion, I mean you don't get confused. I put up the debugger at line number 8. Let me again start the debugging part. It should, when I start the debugging part, it should come at the line number 8 itself of my part. See here, now it is coming to the line number 8 itself because I put the debugger over here.
Okay.
So far so good. Are you with
So
me?
far good. No, I am with you.
Right? Now I would like to see what's going on with respect to the variables. Now there are plenty of things when we try to debug the things. These things are helpful. F5, F6, I'll explain you these particular things later on when I'll explain you the debugging things, when I'll introduce some method and all those things, then that will make more sense to you. Right now I'm follow along with this program. Just for now you need to keep in mind that there is one term F6 which we have to press. If I want to, in debug perspective, I want to go to the next line, I have to hit F6. All right, for next line. Okay,
Okay.
right. I'm here. I cannot go to the next line. If I either I can press the F6 or this button, this one, right? This one,
Okay.
this arrow button. I can draw this diagram also. F6. This one. Okay. This is also F6 only inside our
Okay.
program. All right. So what I'll do, see, I press over here. Now see over here what's going on. The right hand side, the variable appears. One second. Right, you can see X comes here, and straight away before console I can see the output. Okay, X and X have the value 20 with it. So under the variable section, whatever the sections we are using, so under the variable section, whatever the variable or whatever the line get executed, their related output we can see easily when we try to debug our program. This is the 2-3 line of program, does not make sense, but we need to know what's going on over here. So far you with me?
I am saying yes, everything good.
Right, this also see one time, this take frame, this is the thing you were saying, heap memory area, this is called stack frame, stack mem.
No, I don't
I'll show
understand
you.
heap and stack. I don't understand.
I will explain you everything when we will come to it. Just for now, be with me. This is stack area, right? Just keep in mind that okay, some name is over here, which name is stack area. Or stack area means, let's say I can explain you in this way, the real world analogy. Let's say this is a big house, all right, and this big house has lot of room inside it. This is house H1, this room M1 or room M2. See this house H1, this room N1, and this room M2, and this room R3. So stack, what is stacks? It will, wherever we are, let's say right now you are here. So stack is like this. You started from your home, then insert into the room R1, then insert into the room R2, then inserted into the R3, and right now you are sitting in the room R3. Does this diagram make sense to you?
So first I am in room 3, right? Then
So you, how did you come to the room 3? This is your house, you entered from house to room 1. Inside
I have
room
to
1 there
go
is
room by
one,
room.
right, one room, another room, not beside the rooms, right?
Right.
Okay, this is one room, its door opens and you come here, then door open and you come here. So one room inside other, then other, right? So R3 inside R2, R2 inside R1, and R1 inside H. So this is the way the things are going on, and this is called, wherever you are right now, the stack is maintained in the program. Do you understand this?
Yes.
We are discussing pretty much advanced thing as of in the first class. Might be a chance that you find some difficulties. The same way, this is my program, right? My program start from here.
Right.
So this program, what we say, this is my main room. This is my main room. This state says this is main room, and our
Okay.
program is sitting over here. That is why it is say thread main. See here, thread main. You see thread main over here.
Yes.
If I would have few more methods, one method inside, you understand the method in Java?
It is like a function. Yes.
Yeah, function in Java, right? If I would have written 4 5 functions, then the understanding would have been far more easier. One function is calling other, but for now, just for the understanding, I'll again discuss these things maybe tomorrow or so in greater detail. But for now, just understand this, that okay, this is stack area, and wherever I'm residing right now, that stack area will show me that particular part or that particular thing.
Okay.
Did you get confused?
No. So that on
Okay.
the left, right now we're just understanding that on the left side, this is showing the thread. That is the stack area. Thread is the stack area.
Absolutely right. Your understanding is 100% correct. This is stack area. We say it, I'm just going a name stack area. Just remember it, it's a stack area. If we say stack frame, just for your sake of your knowledge, I can quickly do one thing. So you can correlate with respect to my room analogy. Let me do one thing. Okay. I can quickly create a method over here. Let's say M1, right? And I'll explain you later on. If don't worry if you don't get what I'm doing, right? I am in method 1. Just to show you few things, I just terminate it, and I'll again start the debugging and would show you that thing. There is a purpose. I am showing you those stack frame one more time. So let me go back to the Java perspective. Let me start the debugging. So see now, I'm in main program, and inside main, I'm calling M1, right? M1 method over here. This much part, do you understand in Java?
Yeah. Yes.
Right? It's not a big deal if you have you have watched some YouTube video.
Right.
Let me
No, but
start that.
when you get to method, I want you to explain in detail because YouTube video
I
don't tell
will.
me everything.
Yeah, this is the first day only. I'm not telling anything about right now about the method. I'm just talking about the stack frame, right? So
Okay.
keep your focus on the stack frame only. Don't bother about the method and other things. We will discuss it in a greater detail. Don't worry
Okay.
about that, and everything would get clear to you. You can come any day with any question related to the Java. I would be more than happy to help you out.
No,
All right.
because in YouTube they don't explain in detail like you are.
That is the main problem. I mean, that is the single way broadcasting. That's why if you want to learn quickly, the coach is required to you, who can
Right.
hold your hand and explain you quickly, or whatever the doubt you have. Nobody would teach you in that greater detail that what is that stack frame, go there, or uh, I mean, do some drawing and other things, right? Quickly.
Right.
So let me come one more time here. And just focus on the stack frame only, nothing else. Now right now I'm at the M1. Now see at the stack frame, did you notice anything there? Two stack frame there now, main and M1, right?
Yes. Yes.
And right now it focus, I am at M1, and you can see here also I am at M1. So what has happened? If I redraw this with the room analogy. This was my main and this is my M1, correct?
Right.
And I'm sitting right now here. That's why it is showing me here. If I come outside this, it would be disappeared. So focus over here only, here and here. When I
Okay.
go outside this method, this particular M1 would get disappeared from this stack frame. So keep on watching. I just press F6 and one more time here. See, that has disappeared, right? So
Okay.
what stack frame says,
So
where
you
I
are
am
out of
sitting right.
that M1 now.
Right. We are no longer living in M1 now. Where we are in right now, I'm the person sitting over here. Let me draw this. The person sitting in the main method. Earlier it was here. It has come out of this, so the frame get deleted from there. So stack maintain only one thing. What was happening earlier? I can draw a line. I was in the main, right? And then M1. When
So
I
what?
right now.
So what does stack show? Your current location, basically.
Yes, current location and all the places where I have come from right now, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
when I was at M1, it shows me, okay, earlier you were in main also. You come to the M1 using the main door, right? Main
Right.
method door. But when you come out, you are at the main only,
Main only. Okay.
right? So it shows, let's say I have 50 methods, then 50 frame, and I inside the very underneath of method, then 50 frame got created over here. So
Oh,
it
okay.
gets easier for us to, so and I can quickly switch also. I want to see what's going on, I can quickly click there and go there. I can show you one more time if I would like to switch between the frame, just for the debugging. These things are really helpful when you started debugging, when you write hundreds or thousands of line of program. There are plenty of classes over there, and then you get confused what going on where, and you come from the other class, how to go there and see the what were the value in that variable, right? So
Okay.
that's the day in day out activities for all the programmer. I can show you one more time. Just focus on the frame only. I started one more time, and here one frame only I press. When I come to the M1, it shows me two frame, right? Now I would
Right.
like to go to the M1. I just press over here and it make me from where I have come. And it will show me, see at the right hand side, it will even show me the variable values x and y. X have the 20, y have the 30, because I come from here. But if I press M1, those get disappear. See the variable part, because I'm at the M1. Whatever I have inside the M1, those things would only get displayed at the right hand side area. I mean, I was saying for this part, this, one second, uh 1 minute, let me select the drawing tool. Okay, drawing tool creating some issues. One second, what's going on? Okay, did not make it. Okay, I can, there is some problem with the drawing tool. I don't want to, I mean, discontinue the go to meeting and come back again, but yeah, I can show you one more time here. See, over here, what I try to say, when I'm in the main method, you can see the variable part here. Are you seeing my cursor? I'm hovering over here,
Yes.
right? So X, Y, everything you can see over here, right? The drawing tool creating some problem. I don't want to restart, so I'm not doing that. And then if I'm in the M1, right now I'm in the M1. those things get disappear. So wherever inside I am, whatever the method I am writing, those things only would get displayed to me. So don't bother about those things right now. Just keep in mind that there is some step frame at the time of debugging, and those get maintained, and we can easily debug what's going on in which frame by just clicking over there. Okay.
Okay.
And the frame get disappears once. I think for the very first day we discussed the uh, little bit complex things, but that's okay. I'll and don't worry, I'll discuss the stack and heap in the greater detail later on when it turn comes. All right.
Okay, fine.
So this is the debug related things which I wanted to